never made chunks, dog, really? Who are you? Got 30 bitches with me, really? Who are you? Spend 6 stacks, I'll be right back tomorrow. So really, who are you? Really, who are you? Who is that nigga keep hating?
What's good, y'all? I'm Hip, and I'm back with another video for you. If you ain't subscribed to the channel yet, go ahead and hit that subscribe button down at the bottom of the screen and get on the team. For everybody that is subscribed, thank y'all, man. It really means a lot to me. I really appreciate it. Today, I'm going to tell y'all about the first time I got locked up and why I spent spring break in an Alabama jail. So in 2003, me and 3 of my friends was going to go to Panama City Beach for spring break. So we reserved the hotel and got packed up and ready to go. We was going to leave at like 2 o'clock Thursday night, Friday morning. So we get down there during the day Friday and then come back on Sunday. So I had been doing cocaine all night. So I was geeked up by the time they came to get me. They said they had 2 ounces of some fire-ass weed, but they had it hid real good. It was in the back on the driver's side, behind the wheel well, back behind the carpet in the trunk. So I wasn't really worried about that. They had smoked a blunt on the way to come get me. That's petty as hell. Damn, Buzz, why you let them do that to your boy, man? It's messed up. So I was kind of salty about that. But other than that, we was ready to go. Everything was going good till about 45 minutes later. We was on the interstate in Williamson County here in Tennessee. And we seen blue lights behind us. We got pulled over by a state trooper. They said they pulled us over because the light on the license plate was out, and they said we crossed over the white lines a couple times. My boy that was driving was high as hell, so they made him get out and take a sobriety test. He wasn't drunk or nothing, so he passed the sobriety test, but the cop said it smelled like weed, so he had probable cause to search the car. So they got all of us out the car, searched us, and then handcuffed us and made us sit on the side of the interstate while they searched the car. Now, I was spooked because I was already paranoid because I had been snorting coke all night. And then we get pulled over with a bunch of weed in the trunk and they searching the car. I just remember it was cold as fuck sitting on the side of that interstate with all the cars flying by us. We had 3 bottles of liquor in the trunk. So they took those because we was all under 21. They searched the car for at least an hour. They took all our clothes out our bags, had the clothes everywhere. They even took the back seat out to search under the seat because they just knew we had drugs. But they didn't find nothing. So they took the liquor and then let us go on our way. We knew we had dodged the bullet, but we was happy because we had done got stopped by the police and we had the weed hid so good, they ain't find it. So we just knew we was going to be straight. We was feeling ourselves. I remember I had a notebook and I would draw the picture of us all in handcuffs sitting on the side of the interstate, making a joke of it. You know what I'm saying? Probably shouldn't have did that. So we get about an hour away from the beach and we had to stop and get gas. We was in a little bitty town. I don't know what the town was called, but it was Crenshaw County, Alabama. We went in to pay for the gas, and we wanted to smoke a blunt. So we got a blunt shell, and my other homeboy went in the trunk to get some weed out so he could roll up. I remember somebody saying, be careful when you get it out. Don't be too obvious about the weed and shit. And I remember saying something stupid like, man, we ain't never gonna see these people again. We ain't never gonna be in this bullshit ass town again. We straight, we good, don't even worry about it. Stupid. So we going down the street and my homeboy in the front about finished rolling up the blunt. And then I see a silver Crown Vic coming down the street the other way past us. And I turn and I see him do a U-turn in the street and come in behind us. I knew we was in trouble then. I told him, man, I think the police behind us. I guess they ain't believe me or something because that fool lit the blunt up anyways. Just about that time, here go the blue lights. I knew it was a wrap then. Instead of throwing the blunt out the window, This fool put it out and then hide it up under the carpet, under the gear shift. So they pull us over and they say they stopped us because the two people in the front seat ain't had their seatbelts on. They asked for my boy driver license, then they tell him to step out the car because they said it smelled like weed. So now they get all of us out the car and search us and put us in handcuffs, and now they gonna search the car. So one of the other officers, he go around to the front and start looking in the front, and he find the blunt up under the carpet. Now at this point, they got me handcuffed, sitting on the front of the undercover car that pulled us over. So I'm looking at the back of our car, and they pop the trunk, and the dude that pulled us over goes right into the trunk, right to the spot where the weed's at, and grabs it and throws it up on top of the undercover car. That's it. We done. What my friends didn't tell me is not only did we have 2 ounces of some gas, my other homeboy had brought a quarter pound of some booty-ass weed. It was terrible. I don't even know why he brought that shit. Like, you could smoke 2 blunts to the head by yourself and not even get high and just get a headache. I don't know what that fool was thinking, but I ain't know that shit was in there. So apparently, somebody at the gas station had called the police and told them that we had drugs on us. And the cop that pulled us over was actually the leader of the drug task force in that little town. So they take my homeboy's car and take us back to the local jail. Now, I didn't bring any drugs with me. I knew they had a little bit of weed with them, so I left all my shit at home. And my friends had my back. They told the police that I ain't know nothing about the weed, that I was just along for the trip to go down to Florida. But that ain't matter to them, because they locked us all up anyways. And I guess they scales was broke. I ain't work at the police station, because instead of 6 ounces of weed, they said it was 8 ounces of weed, a half pound. So they charged all of us with felony possession of marijuana with intent to distribute. Now, I had been arrested before, got citations and shit, but always got booked and then got right out. But this time was different. We was a long way from home, and we had money on us, but since we got caught with drugs, they seized all our money too. Our bond was $5,000 a piece. So that means it was going to cost a little over $500 to get each one of us out. So now we had to call home and tell our families what had happened and try and get somebody to come get us. That shit was not fun. So first I called my mama, but she was at work. So my stepdad answered the phone, and he told me they ain't had no money and he didn't know what I was going to do, that they couldn't help me. That's exactly what you don't want to hear when you in jail 7 hours away from home. So then I called my dad, but I forgot he was at his brother's funeral. And this was before smartphones and shit, so he didn't even have a cell phone at this time, so it wasn't no way I could get a hold of him. So I was stuck. Luckily for me, I had been up snorting powder all night, so I was tired. So I just got up on my bunk and went to sleep. I would wake up whenever it was time to eat and shit like that, but I pretty much slept the whole time we was in there. It was a small jail. They had pods set up like a dorm, and it was a dry county, so most of the people we was locked up with was there for DUI or public intoxication or stealing gas, little shit like that. One of my friends, his mom came and got him that night and left the rest of us there. So the next day, my mama and my sister had scraped up the money to get me out, and they gave it to my other friend that was with us. His granny and his mom came out there and got us. So when we got back home, I had to talk to my family. My mama was kind of mad, but she was just happy I was okay. My dad, on the other hand, he was pissed. He was mad as hell. He was really more disappointed than anything. So that's it's rough, man, when you realize your decisions and your actions hurt other people. It sucks. It ain't a good feeling. So every time we went to court, we had to drive 7 hours. So we would get there the night before and then go to court the next morning. On our first court date, the lawyer told us they could have gave us a federal trafficking charge because we had a felony amount of weed and we crossed state lines. But he also told us in Alabama, you're a minor till you're 21. So that was good for us. They also wanted to keep my homeboy's car. I don't know why, it wasn't nothing special. It was like a 96 Monte Carlo or something like that. But they really wanted the car more than anything else. And they still had the car, and all of our clothes and shit was still in the car, and they wouldn't let us get it out. At the time, I was living with my friend and his family, so it was 5 of us in a little shotgun apartment, and I was sleeping on the floor. And I already didn't have a lot of clothes to begin with at the time. So I was struggling because all my good clothes was in the car because we was going on vacation and I couldn't get to them. It wasn't until we went to court the second time they finally let us get our clothes and shit out the car. Then the third time we went to court, we agreed on a plea deal. They gave us all youthful offender charges because we was under 21. So the files would be sealed. They couldn't be held against us if we got in trouble again. And it wouldn't count as a felony conviction on our record. We was also banned from coming to Alabama, and they got to keep my homeboy's car. And of course, they kept the weed and all our money too. So we got off pretty easy. No additional jail time, no probation, no felony on our record, none of that shit. So it definitely could have been worse. But it definitely was a learning experience and a trip we'll never forget. You gotta be careful when you're out there, especially when you're doing illegal shit. And even if you yourself ain't got nothing illegal on you, if you're in a car with somebody that does, you can get in trouble too. A lot of times when the police find drugs, even if somebody owns up to it and says it's theirs, they'll charge everybody with it. Because the more charges they rack up, the more likely they are to get more convictions. And at the end of the day, that means more money. I know in our case, we got popped in a little bitty small ass town. So that was a big bust for them. And they was proud. They was the ones that caught us. I know we was in the local paper and shit like that. That was big stuff for them. We made a lot of stupid decisions and we paid for it. But I guess I ain't learned my lesson, because I would get plenty more felonies after that. But I'll tell y'all about them later, because that's about all the time we got for today. If you like this, hit that like button for me. It really helps me out. If you ain't subscribed yet, hit that subscribe button down at the bottom. Comment down below what y'all want me to talk about, and we'll get it popping. I'll catch y'all on the next one.
Birthday bash, yeah, I made a like 20. Gotta be a harder way, who are you? Penny. Toast to the new team, all straight rimming. Strapped on stage, who are you? Send me. I'm just low like late